Hey everybody. So I'm gonna give you guys a case update. I gotta answer something though, because no one's asked yet. Why do I always have fire department t-shirts on? Well, here's the answer. I read a lot of books and they got pockets and I like the pockets. And after 20 years, you end up with a stack of these things. I got about 30 of them and that's why I'm always wearing them. So I'm not one of those guys that wears stuff. Like when I'm around my house or I'm running to the store, I'll wear it. But when I go out, that ain't the case, right? So it's just the pocket because when I'm reading a lot of books, like today I was reading the Federalist Papers because I found them interesting. But anyways, so this is a case update and I'm going to update you on a couple things. I've got the email drafted for Sarasota Museum of Art and I'm working out the details on that. The lawyer judge stuff is pretty much going according to how I expected. They listed my house, and then after they listed my house, I contacted the real estate company and I notified them. They pretty much said that they don't care because they have a judge's order. They're going to do whatever they want. So I asked them for the listing agreement, which they wouldn't provide. And then I go ahead and sent them over a rental agreement because my brother's been living here for the last couple months. And we have a lease and you have to honor those. So unfortunately the house is rented until March of next year, which means they can't sell it. Also, meeting with my attorney for discrimination and retaliation for ADHD for the county. And we're going to go ahead and file a lis pendens on the property, which is going to cloud the title until the end of the federal investigation against Charlotte County government. So that'll take care of that. No one will be able to foreclose and everything else. So that's how that's going. Yes, I already knew that they were going to do this. I already knew that this was my pathway, but I had to get them to do it to just show how bad it could be. But you got to be thinking ahead of how you're going to win. So they did everything I expected them to do. And then I just reacted the way I had already prepared. So you want to be 2-3 steps ahead. You want to think about how they're going to come at you and then how you're going to mitigate it. So now they're in a bit of a bind. And if the real estate company comes back and they decide to list it anyways, then it's just going to be this. I'm going to videotape them and I'm going to subpoena them and tie them all up and waste a bunch of time because they're not even supposed to be involved anyways. And it's their choice. And then I'll move up through them. And then when it all comes down that it was illegal, I'll sue them for their personal property because that's what this is about. See, corporations were deemed people. And we sue corporations because we're allowed to. But what we forget is that not only can we sue the corporation because it's an individual entity, but you can actually sue the people involved individually. And we miss the mark. We miss it because we got lawyers that they're just like, they're trying to get the quickest case and they're basically contractors. So yeah, so I just sent an email to the sheriff's office. So let me tell you how that went. So I've been going back and forth, right? This thing's up to about 30 emails. And basically the lieutenant that I got to, Lieutenant Heck, wouldn't give me a supervisor's name. Now I could have public records requested. I could have done a lot of things. But the fact is they're ignoring civil rights violations, which is a felony. Now they've got a judge making a false police report saying that I said things I didn't and then sending cops to my house. And the interesting part is that the cops made the comment about chess. Well, that's how my brain works. I wrote a letter to the court telling them this is how my brain works. So what you're doing is you're actually you're making a false statement regarding my ADHD, regarding how my brain works. You're retaliating against me and filing a false police report based on it. And the police are participating in it. That just sounds fascinating. And I've been sharing this stuff with my doctors who pretty much agree. Because this is how it goes when they hate you, right? They hate you for how you think. They hate you for how your brain works. And that's what I'm trying to pull the cover back on, is that they gaslight you or they mess with you and you get angry. But really, it's just a game. Just start playing. So we're playing chess. Intellectual chess is what I like to call it. So I sent this email to the sheriff's office. And because Lieutenant Heck decided that he wasn't going to give me his supervisor's name because they don't want to give you their supervisor's name. Well, I just included the entire organizational staff. I think there's now 14 people on this email. And since I'm a transparency guy and I believe in transparency, I'm a guy that has no secrets. See, I talk about anything and I say whatever I want. And I say whatever the truth is, whatever I think is the truth, until I examine it, and then I might change my idea of the truth is. But so I included all the lawyers and the judge and the cops and pretty much everybody else involved. Why? Well, because I don't want you to say you didn't know just because you can't read it because you're angry. Well, that's not really my problem. You're the one that's angry. But I'm the one losing my stuff. And I'm the one being deprived of justice. So I'll tell you what. I'm not going to get angry. And you're going to get angry for helping take my stuff away. And we'll see how this turns out. So, because now that I've done this, now that I've gone all the way through the sheriff's office and collected my little puppy crabs, okay, everybody's responsible because you got due diligence. Now, I'll proceed to FDLE. Now, I already know that the case is federal because corruption is actually federal. It goes under the FBI. But the problem is when you call the FBI, they tell you, well, you got to deal with it here. You got to go here. Okay. Well, then I'm just going to start at the bottom. And I'll just tap every stone and collect all the crabs. And then when it's all said and done, and it's ruled against them, then I'm going to take all their personal stuff. Because not only do you get to go after them, but because they failed in due diligence and they failed in their responsibility, you take their personal stuff. That's called just retaliation. That's called reparation. And that is in Federalist Paper number 7 by Alexander Hamilton. You have the right to justice, and you have the right to a just reparation. Read Federalist Paper number 7 by Alexander Hamilton. God bless you, and keep walking the right path, but they're going to hate you for it.